welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into some hot topic makeup releases. For some reason, February, Valentine's Day, that seems to be the time frame this year that there are so many new makeup releases dropping that are very hot topic in the makeup community. We're talking some Jeffree Star, we're talking Jaclyn Hill's doing a Morphe collab? What? Tasha is releasing some stuff that I'm really interested in because I have another version of it here in my makeup collection. There is some other really hot topic items that are out there tempting all of us in this first part of 2020 when we're like, wait, didn't we just say we're trying to hold off on buying so much stuff? Well, we did, at least, you know, you, me, I don't know, 11,000 of our favorite friends here on my channel. You know what I'm saying. Whew. Let's dive into some of these hot topic new makeup releases and let me give you my thoughts on them. Now, I'm only going to be going through so many because there's a lot that have been churning out lately, but these are going to be the ones that are kind of the most hot topic in my mind and things I want to get into. So let's jump in. So Jeffree Star Cosmetics is releasing their third edition of, I guess, the Blood Trilogy series, and now we have, let me move over to put up pictures now because I always forget to do that. Bloodlust? I watched the whole makeup release video and I can tell you, whew, the purple is something that I was kind of expecting some sort of royal moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought the title of it was going to be like the Royal Queen or something like that, and I think there is some branding about that, being a queen. The Bloodlust palette is $54, or at least it will be when it releases. And then there's always a bunch of other things in there because he's always releasing a ton of stuff with a new collection. We're talking a mini velour liquid lip set for $52, Extreme Frost in Choking on Ice, $50, which is an exclusive, glosses, accessories, the whole 9 yards. So, how are we feeling about this? I've kind of said in the past the only real Jeffree Star Cosmetics eyeshadows that I have tried are one, the Thirsty palette, and of course the Mini Controversy and the Conspiracy palette. I have all those in my collection, but I've never really been like a, oh my gosh, I have to have the latest and greatest from, well, really any brand, but from Jeffree Star, because some of his stuff is very bold, and as much as I like bold things sometimes, I like to use up everything I have in my collection, as many of you know. So some things I'm already aware I'm never going to fully use. Like the Blue Blood, I knew that was not going to be something that I'd reach for a ton, so I definitely wouldn't purchase that. And then there's also the Blood Sugar palette. Those are all reds. I feel like reds can kind of make me look too sick. Like, I like to use a lot of oranges and burnt corals, copper shades. I love those things because they work really well with my skin tone. But as far as like reds go, or pinks sometimes, those don't usually go well with my skin tone. I always feel like I look sick, and I'm never fully inspired to always go back to those shadows. So when I heard there was going to be another palette, I was intrigued. And it is purple because, again, Jeffree Star said if you mix the red and the blue, you get purple, so that made total sense for him, and he loves purple. Honestly, when I first saw this palette, my eye went immediately to that weird tealish color that I do think is pretty, but it feels so out of place for some reason for me. And this is just me, just kind of like first impressions when I first saw it. The swatches look really pretty too. The hard part for me with something like this is, one, that's a lot of money. I have to really want it, and as you guys know, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. But two, I don't think I would use purples enough. Just like I said I wouldn't use reds enough or blues enough, I don't gravitate to a lot of purple looks. When's the last time you guys even saw me pull out a purple look? It's been a while. I'm trying to think in my mind, Rolodex of makeup. When did the last time I did purple? I don't even know. I like the new logo that they did, and as a marketing director, for those of you that don't know, if you're newer here, I am a marketing director. I am not a full-time YouTuber. I really appreciate quality branding, and I always think they do a really good job at Jeffree Star Cosmetics for branding purposes, but cool logo, cool concepts, and if you're into it, you go get it. Let us know what you think about it. But as far as my collection goes, I really don't need that, and I'm not itchy for that at all. My buying finger is like, okay, I could take a break. I don't know why, but that teal color in the palette that's at the bottom just keeps pulling my eye, not in like a good way. I just keep getting distracted by it. The Conspiracy palette is still in my Shop My Stash. I am still reaching for it. For as pricey as this baby is, I will continue to use it, and it's quality shadows. It really is. But I have variety in this as far as colors go, whereas an all purple palette, I just don't think I'd reach for. So I'm definitely going to be passing on that, but that is an absolute hot topic right now. I know some of you in my comments are already like, I'm already buying it. It is on my schedule for when I purchase my next makeup. I get you. This will be released on the 21st. So if you end up getting this, or if this is intriguing you, let us know. Okay, the next hot topic is clearly going to be the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collab. They're doing a part 2 to their original palette, which surprised a lot of people. So I already had in my head, when I saw the picture of it, I'm going to tell you first impressions and then I'm going to go a little deeper because these are the hot topics of the moment. But when I first glanced at this, it does look very vibrant. It looks very bold. Her first palette has a lot more neutrals in it. So I feel like when I first saw this, my honest to God first impression of this palette was more, that's a lot of pinks and reds. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of pinks and reds right now. Holiday is Valentine's Day, so I get it. But at the same time, I don't gravitate to pinks and purples. So for me, I was immediately like, oh, I feel like I can absolutely pass on this. And I asked you guys in my Instagram stories, and if you don't follow me there to do the latest and greatest polls and talk about stuff behind the scenes, you can follow me right here. I'm always talking on there about makeup and what's happening, and I get your insights. And it was 50-50 split for this palette, which doesn't surprise me because I feel like those colors speak to so many people and they look gorgeous on so many people. For me, a pink or a red, again, kind of makes me look sickly. I feel like I really reached for like pink shades maybe about 3 years ago, but I haven't really gone back to a pink look in a really long time. I like to accent with it or do it every now and again, but this is a ton of pink. But in full disclosure, and in being open-minded, you know what I did? I watched her entire video and some of her Instagram stories about what was going on with this palette as well. Because you know, I do have her first original palette right here. I have hit pan on it, and I am wearing it today. Mostly because last night I watched her full video, and I was like, I have not touched this in a while, and I remember really enjoying the formula. I also last night was watching some YouTubers who got the new palette in PR and seeing what their thoughts were, and they kept saying, oh my gosh, everybody wants me to say something bad about this. 2 separate, smaller channels, not as big as Jaclyn Hill, smaller channels that received the new palette in PR, not this one, said that they know people want them to say bad things about it, but they were saying it was a really high quality palette, very similar to this. So if you liked the formulas and the consistency in this palette, both 2 separate YouTubers that don't know each other that received this in PR said you would probably like it. So if you are into it, you go get it. For me, that color story is a lot of pinks, and it's got some nice neutrals in there to blend with those other shades that she has going. She does have some pops of yellow in there, and she's got varying colors of purple and pinks. There's also some warmer tones that could go for browns and all that good stuff. She's got a great black in there that she was talking about from one of her other palettes. But that one just doesn't really speak to me, and this guy is already so huge that I did want to pull this out today to remind myself how I felt about it. And I do really love my eye look today. It was only achieved using this. I even pulled out a palette you guys know I love, the Tati Beauty palette right now. I love this thing. And I had that like on standby in case something over here just wasn't meshing for me. And I didn't need it. I went into all of these. And I know Morphe and Jaclyn Hill can be a little polarizing on this platform, but I like to just talk about the makeup because you know I'm not really here for the drama. I just want to know is something quality. So the good news is if you are interested in her new palette, because she does say it's like an extension to the first, it's like this, I think she calls it the sexy older sister to this palette because it's more bold, whereas this one is more neutral and maybe more user-friendly for day-to-day use, or if you're not into the bold colors, it's more like that older sister palette. That's awesome if that's something that you're like, oh man, I love those colors, but is it going to be just as good? 2 separate YouTubers that I watched last night said it's as good as this palette. So if you want it, jump on it, girl.
I got my fingers in some of the colors.
I will say, I don't know how anybody in the audience right now feels about Jaclyn Hill. I don't really like to get into drama, but I will say I think she articulated herself pretty well in that video, even describing the fact that she knows some of her colors or shades or new formulas, because there's a few new ones in there. They do swatch a little differently, and some of them she will tell you needs 2 coats versus just the 1 swipe of pigment. And she was very transparent about that, which I could appreciate. I know there's also a lot of distrust with her right now in the community, and rightfully so. So you do what's best for you, but I'm gonna do what's best for me and my beauty space and say, I think I can absolutely pass on that. But if you do get it, let me know how it is, because I do still really like this first palette, and I think it's quality, even though I don't like some of the other Morphe shadows that I've tried. So, you know, different strokes, different folks, that's okay. I also felt like that palette kind of looked like the Ring the Alarm palette that she had, those minis with Morphe. Kind of reminded me of that. I was introduced last year to the Tasha Silk Canvas Primer. It is so good. A lot of you know, in 2019, I fell in love with 2 different primers, one of them being the e.l.f. Poreless Putty, the other one being the Tasha Silk Canvas for my bossy forward front pores. These suckers can be seen for days if I'm not careful. So I fell in love with this last year, and now it seems there is a liquid brand new version on the market from Tasha. Tasha pulled it out in a liquid formula, so I'm really curious how it would compare to the more cream, pore filling formula that a lot of us are used to and know and love. Liquids though, I could see being really good too. Now it is a $52 investment though, so that makes me go, 52 bucks. That's a lot of money, but it looks like you also get a lot of product. The Tasha Silk Canvas that I have here is the mini size, and this gives you the opportunity to try it to see if you like it, because the original bigger one is expensive too, of course. But if you don't know if something's gonna work for you, trying it in a smaller dose, perfect, amazing. Are they gonna do that with the liquid? Are they gonna do a small version like they did with the actual cream primer? Are they gonna do that with this? Are they gonna give us a mini? Because that would be cool to see if that would work. The reason I worry about a liquid versus this is I know this fills my oily skin, bossy pores up front and doesn't make me look oily later. My only concern is that maybe a liquid would make me look oilier than this does, but I don't know. So I kind of want to see if they have it in a mini to try it. But right now I'm only seeing on Trend Mood's Instagram the full size for 52. It's gonna be available March 3rd, so I am keeping my eyes open for that, because anything that's going to make my makeup that I spend a lot of money on and spend a lot of time on in the mornings, if something can make my makeup last longer, look more flawless, those are investment pieces that at this point in my makeup journey I would consider getting, because even though I'm trying to bring in less to my beauty space, I'm trying to keep on what I got on all day long. Oof, that one's tempting. So tempting, because this is really good. Okay, what is this beauty? This one pulls my eye every time, and I'm a little annoyed at myself that it keeps bringing in my attention. It's such a neutral palette, and Nichole 2 years ago would have been like, that's boring, I don't want that. But I've been going to so many more natural eye looks lately, and face makeup. This new addition to the Born This Way family, there is a new Too Faced eyeshadow palette specifically that's talking to me, but they also have some highlighting palettes that look pretty. The Born This Way Natural Nudes eyeshadow palette for $45. Why does that palette look so pretty? And it could be the pictures that I'm seeing, because they have perfect lighting on it, so the shimmers look like really good, really gorgeous. The nudes and the matte shades look really good. I want to know more about this. I surprise myself. The older I get, the more I shock myself, because I'm just sitting here going, how? This palette would not have intrigued me a good 2-3 years ago at all. I would have been bored with it. But today Nicole's like, you look pretty, tell me more. The Light Highlighting Palette, $42, Trio Compact, Illuminating Pressed Glow, Soft Focus, and Dazzling. A lot of people are saying they can't wait to buy it at Marshall's for half off eventually. Good point, actually. I don't need to jump at this, and I have so many nudes and neutrals. I mean, I just held up a palette with a ton of nudes and neutrals that I haven't been reaching for, that I just reminded myself, hey, pull this out. She's got a new version of this. Remind yourself if you like it. I do like it. It is really pretty. My eye look today looks great. I don't need that palette, but it is just looking really pretty and talking to me. I don't need you. I don't need you. Just keep going. Keep going. Okay, this is something that, why does this bug me? This one kind of irritates me. And I don't like to use that word, but it does, just because the packaging kind of looks like kids makeup, but I've heard good things about this brand, but I've never tried it. This is the Sugarpill new eyeshadow palette, the Capsule Collection Pink Edition. It is a $42 palette, and it has 5 mattes, 4 metallics, and a blush. It looks like this packaging is like for kids makeup a little bit. Am I wrong? It also kind of feels like it might be trying too hard to differentiate itself on the market. So for me, it looks like something that I think, would I be able to find that in my beauty drawer? Because it's an odd shape. It's kind of smaller, it seems. I'm afraid it's going to get wiggled in between palettes or get lost in the shuffle, you know? Swatches on the next tab, though, look really pretty. It just kind of seems like the color story is just a rainbow in a way. It's pretty. I just don't... It's coming soon. I'm not sure when it'll be out just yet. But I was seeing this kind of make the rounds because the packaging is so unique, and it is, but for me personally, it kind of like pulls me back. It makes me go, I don't know about you. Do you guys like the Sugarpill line and the eyeshadows? I have never tried them, so I can't even speak to the formula. So that probably tells you right there I would definitely not be getting it, but that's the one I keep seeing people talk about. Tell me your thoughts on that brand itself, because if it's amazing, it's good to know. There is another, what's the other one I wanted to talk about? Because I've never tried this eyeshadow line. I've heard so many good things about Melt Cosmetics. They have a new Millennial Pink eyeshadow palette out. And I keep seeing these swatches, and they look really stunning because you can see some beautiful silvers, some pinks, and some coppery shades, maybe some corals, baby pinks in there. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. And if you are, again, a girl who loves a good baby blush pink eyeshadow that you can just rock, and it's got that beautiful springtime look to it, this could be for you. The Millennial Pinks, P-I-N-X, I just noticed that, eyeshadow palette includes mattes, metallics, shimmery, duochrome, $58. Now, I've heard really good things about Melt Cosmetics eyeshadows. I have never tried them, but I'm so intrigued because the people that I hear talking about them rave about the line, rave about their formulas. It looks really pretty, and they have some other stuff in this collection too, but I'm specifically looking at eyeshadow palettes. Shocker. As pretty as those look, again, as I keep saying, I'm not a really pink girl. At this point in the video, you're not shocked that I'm like, this one does kind of talk to me in a way because I'm so curious about the formula. But pinks, I don't reach for a lot of pinks. I still have so many pink ColourPop shades in my beauty space that I'm like, I can reach for those. Somebody just said they didn't think that palette was pink enough. Fair. If you're into pinks and you're like, give me all the pink, Millennial Pink needs to be all the pinks, I get you. Either way, I think it's really pretty, and for some reason, maybe because those pinks are a little bit more terracotta and coral, and those are colors I really do like, I just don't wear them a lot anymore. It just keeps drawing my eye. But I think I can pass on that. I don't think I need that right now, especially considering it's pricey and I can't be guaranteed I'm gonna like it. I've never tried their shadows, but you tell me below if you've tried Melt Cosmetics and you like their shadows. Tell me what you know. I am an elder millennial, so technically I do fall into that category. I'm one of the oldest versions of a millennial. I was born in 1983, which means I am right at the cutoff to still be considered a millennial. And if you do like Netflix series and you enjoy a good comedy show, I highly suggest the Elder Millennial comedy show on Netflix by Liza Schlesinger. She is amazing and super funny. And it made me think when I saw Millennial Pink eyeshadow palette, I'm like, I'm an elder millennial. I count in that category, but I'm gonna skip on that. One other thing that popped up first thing for me this morning was the Oprah eyeshadow palettes. And you know, I know, we both know, Oprah is a loved product in my beauty space for highlighters. Adore it. I think it's amazing. But I don't think I've ever tried their eyeshadow palettes. So I am kind of curious here. But again, we're looking at pinks and purples, and I just said I have some of those in my collection and I don't reach for them a lot, especially right now where I'm doing all of these more natural looks or really bold. I feel like I'm going in between those two things right now. But even this Jaclyn Hill palette has a lot of pinks over here in this corner. You don't see any pan on that. I also have some ColourPop shadows that have pinks in them. Well, this is a lot more neutrals, bad example. This one has a couple more pink tones. And I have some singles from ColourPop. Again, lots of pinks. I just don't need a lot of pinks. But Oprah, Your eyeshadows are kind of talking to me because your highlighters are outstanding and I love them. Guys, this is a ton of Hot Topic new makeup releases coming out for the Valentine's springish time frame, because that is when we start going into more pinks and purples, but these are like Hot Topic all dropping at the same time. Tell me, what are you going to be purchasing? What are you going to be passing on? It really kind of sounds like the only things that are really intriguing me that I do think I might consider investing in is the Tasha Liquid Silk Canvas Primer, but I really want to get it in a mini to see if that works with my skin, or should I stick to the more putty creamy version? That's like the only thing that's really tempting me. These are all of the top of mind things at the moment. So thank you so much for kind of talking it through with me. Give me your thoughts below because I am so curious. What are you thinking now that these bigger collections are dropping? That's when we all get tested even more for what are we getting, what are we not getting. Thank you so much for watching. And if you happen to be new to my crazy, weird, tiny little channel here, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit your subscribe button down below. Is it red? That means you haven't clicked it yet. Just go ahead and click that red button. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye friends.